Sean on Long Island. What's up, Sean?
Mike, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, Mike, I love your show. You're great. You're knowledgeable. But I got to disagree with you on one account.
What's that?
I'm a 49er fan. Been a 49er fan since '82. Why would you put Kaepernick in the same boat as Des Bryant, as you were saying that he is a headache? That was your exact words.
They're both headaches. They're different headaches, but they're both headaches.
He never disrupted the locker room.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something. No, let me explain. Wait a second. Let me explain. I'll tell you why. You are an owner. You're an owner. Des Bryant, you don't bring him in because he's just a pain in the neck. Okay, you can't coach him. He's a problem. He's not any good anymore. Now, here's why you don't bring. Now, you're protecting Kaepernick, not Des Bryant, right?
No. I get what you're saying about Des Bryant.
Okay, now let me explain the Kaepernick part. You're an owner, okay? You don't want to have, with your football team, 200 media following a team who have nothing to do with sports. You don't want to have a room where some of your players say, I don't want a guy here that's going to tell me what I should do and shouldn't do with the national anthem. I don't want it to be an issue here. So it creates a headache of a different kind completely, because Kaepernick has become a social hero and he has become a social figure. And with that comes all kinds of baggage and all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with football that now surrounds your franchise that you don't need.
Mike, that came after the fact.
No. That's a reality. That is a reality now.
No, that's the media. That's us. That's
no, that's not us. Sean, that is a reality now. This guy, why does he have a Nike commercial then?
Mike, can I answer your question?
Yeah, why does he have a Nike commercial?
He has a Nike commercial because Nike put their neck out to see if...
No. But why does he have a Nike commercial?
He has a Nike commercial to promote his ideals.
Because he is a social hero now to a lot of people, and to other people, he's not a hero, depending on what side of the fence you're on. My point is, he's a controversial figure, and if you're an owner running a football team, why do you want to bring in a marginal quarterback who is a problem?
But that's not, you're saying a problem as though as he has a athletic, as though he has a locker room problem.
It is a locker room problem.
No, it's not, because when he was doing...
Why would you want to... See, here's the point, Sean. He's not good enough to bring in to create the circus that he will bring when he comes.
Mike, we understand about... No one is not going to put up the media circus that's coming in. But my point is, when you say headache, you compared him with the actual headache Des Bryant is.
Listen, you read into that. There's two different kinds of headaches. They're both headaches. And that's the reason why they're both on the outside. Now, there are those who will say he's on the outside because he's being blackballed. I think the NFL's too smart to blackball him. If a team wanted to sign him, I think they could sign him tomorrow. I don't think anybody told every team in that league, don't sign this guy. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think if you want to sign him, sign him. I just think he's not good enough on the field to deal with what you will have to deal with. Your communications department is going to have to hand out X number of credentials every day that has nothing to do with people who cover sports, who are going to cover Kaepernick. Everything Kaepernick does is a story now. That's who he is now. Kaepernick is bigger as a social figure now than he is as a football player. That's who Kaepernick is. That's why he has the Nike commercial. That's why he's a headache. Because I want to bring in a guy to try and see if I can win a couple of football games on the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to bring in a guy who is a three-ring circus to win a couple of football games. That's why I don't bring Kaepernick in. But it makes the NFL look bad because this Peterman's so bad that you can't say that Kaepernick's not better because you're insulting everybody's intelligence. PJ in Westchester. What's up, PJ?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
What's up?
Rather than headaches, I call them knuckleheads, if you know what I mean. But question for you. A couple seconds ago, you said that Nathan Peterman shouldn't be a starting quarterback and Colin Kaepernick should. But now you just said.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say Colin Kaepernick should be. I never said. Wait a second, PJ. I never said.
Me, Mike.
Kid, PJ. I never said Colin Kaepernick should be a starting quarterback. That's not what I said.
Over Nathan Peterman.
He's a better player than he is.
Yeah, but you just said he. So what about Josh Allen? You want all that baggage in Buffalo with the rookie quarterback, top 10 pick? You contradicting yourself there, Mike.
I'm not contradicting myself. I'm telling you why he's not there. But for the people...
Hey, Mike, I love you. Who's taking Saratoga? Who's taking
PJ, what are you talking about? PJ, you're a moron. What are you all over the place? You're going to ask me who I did what? The bottom line is Kaepernick is a headache on a different level. He's a better player than Peterman is. So if you're a guy who's yelling collusion, he helps your case. That's my point. He helps your case. You got guys every day writing collusion stories about Kaepernick. They're still writing them. They were writing them last week. And they're going to write them about guys like Peterman. They're going to say, you're telling me he's not better? He is better. But an owner should have the right to decide whether he wants a three-ring circus or not. That's what it comes down to. Casey in High Point. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking a call. Boy, you mentioned McCarthy. He already looks good in green. You never know. But
I'd be more interested in Harbaugh than I would in Mike, to be honest with you.
The reason I'm calling, obviously, that Saints-Rams game was just an offensive showcase. And I read a recent article that do the Rams have two offensive coordinators? And if so, how do they make that work? And has any other team ever done that?
Well, the coach, you see, there it's a little different, though, because the coach really runs the offense. The head coach, so there are teams that have running game coordinators and passing game coordinators. Matter of fact, the Jets do. So there are guys who have that. But some guys run the running game. I've never been a fan of it. I think that's confusion. I think you want one guy to be there. And I like one guy as coordinator. I also want one guy calling the plays. Problem is there, the head coach is very involved in the offense completely. He's very involved. Which, listen, you're going to know that's part of the deal. I mean, there are certain places where the head coach is going to be running the offense. You go into Kansas City to coach, Andy's running the offense. There's Lawrence too. That's his baby. He's running the offense. You go to Philly, the guy's running the offense. That's just the way it is. He's going to run the offense. Al and Trent, what's up, Al?
Hey, Mike, you're 100% right about Kaepernick. Let's just not hope he opened up a whole can of worms there and get a week's worth of calls on.
He does, but it's hard when you see a guy that bad. For the people who want to write collusion stories, they look at Buffalo. They can write collusion stories till the cows come home.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a week worth of Kaepernick's calls. Anyway, talking about Bowles yesterday and what went on the field. Now, I always said in the NBA, coaching your team is 80% dealing with the players and their personalities and getting them to buy in and 20% X's and O's. It seems like now in the NFL, you're almost going in that direction with players anymore, where you got to deal with all these personalities and get all these guys to buy in, and your X's and O's are becoming almost secondary when NFL coaching was always about X's and O's.
Not true.
It's just the whole part dealing with these guys.
How can you say that when you see what good teams do? I mean, the NFL is still about preparation and adjustment. That's what it's about. And you see that, and that's why New England has such an advantage. I mean, their preparation and their adjustment is superb. And I'm not saying there aren't other teams where the teams are well coached. New Orleans is well coached. Sean does a good job coaching New Orleans. The Rams are well coached. There are teams that are well coached. There are teams that are very well coached. But, I mean, you see teams that make just incredible adjustments. And I'll tell you, the team everyone is really forgetting about is the Chargers. The Chargers are good. And if they ever get Bosa back, it could be really good. They've only lost to the Rams and the Chiefs. They won in Seattle last night. They're 6-2. They're playing very well. Two teams, the Chargers and Carolina, are both playing really well. Greg and Tom's River, what's up, Greg?
Hey, Mike, let me draw an analogy, a Kaepernick analogy for the world we live in today. Donald Trump may be a great salesman, but there's no mainstream company that's ever going to hire him to be a spokesman.
I don't understand.
Oh, Kaepernick. Kaepernick does have some talent. But like you said, the circus he brings, nobody wants to bring him in. It's the world we live in today. Donald Trump is the same way. He may be a great salesman. He may be a great developer, but no mainstream company is going to bring him on board because of the baggage he's going to bring. It's the world we live in.
I think it's a bad analogy. I don't think it's a good analogy, but I understand your premise. I think Kaepernick has created a lot of baggage around himself now because he's become so big in his own area. In the world he lives in now, he's become a voice. I mean, he's become a very prominent voice. There's no question. So, and he has a lot of people who are very interested in him. So if you bring him in now, it's going to be a three-ring circus. It really is. And it's going to be divisive. I understand, which is what your point was, that it's going to be divisive. And you don't want to bring divisive people in to produce products. I understand that. I completely understand the point, is that you don't sell products with divisive people. Which is why, as an example, guys used to be critical of Michael Jordan. Black athletes were critical of Michael Jordan for not speaking out on social issues. Michael didn't speak out on social issues because he did not want to in any way impact his ability to sell products. He wanted to be a brand, and he wanted he wanted everybody to like him and everybody to sell his products. And that's why he didn't become controversial. That's exactly why. As an example, that's exactly why. Tony in Staten Island. What's up, Tony?
How you doing there, Mike?
What's happening?
Hey, Mike, I don't know if you mentioned the cell phone thing yesterday.
I did, as I talked about.
Mike, you know what they should do as the officiating? The touchdown shouldn't count, and that was.
Well, that you can't do. But I can tell you what you can do. Conduct detrimental, and to me, if I'm Sean Payton, I take his paycheck. That's what I do, and let the Players Association come scream holy murder about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, just overall, I mean, all these you see a loose ball on the ground, there's no whistle, guy makes a nice play, he's posing, and what is going
how about
on
this?
the field?
ESPN,
what is going on, Mike?
ESPN's having a thing before the best dance things for the week, the best dance celebrations, and these guys know this. And they are posing. I mean, this is about ESPN. These players now, when they're in high school, and let's be honest, the guys who are playing in the NBA, the guys who are playing in the NFL, they are precocious high school students. They are great when they're in high school. When they're seniors in high school, they're trying to figure out ways to do things on the field to get on ESPN. They go to college trying to figure out ways to get on ESPN. And that's the whole mindset. Oh, if I can get, if I do, this will lead ESPN. Oh, this will be unbelievable. I can get this on ESPN. Well, now it's not even that. Now it's ESPN, but ESPN would like it to be just about ESPN. Now it's about getting it on Twitter and to be the lead thing on Twitter and have everybody sending it everywhere, my play. And that's, unfortunately, how a Beckham got created on a one-hand catch. Not about winning, not about leading his team anywhere, about a one-handed catch. So yesterday, after the game, I guarantee you the most tweeted thing off the NFL Sunday was the phone. And that is the saddest thing that you could ever think of coming out of the NFL yesterday. Mark in Kings Park. What's up, Mark?
Hey, how you doing today, man?
What's happening?
I wanted to talk a little bit about baseball, specifically the Hall of Fame that you were saying before.
Well, yeah, the Today's Game area is one of the 4 areas committees established by the Baseball Hall of Fame, and they have 10 people they're considering. The committee reviews players who are out 15 years, and then managers Piniella, Charlie Manuel, and Davey Johnson, Steinbrenner,
right.
and then the players Baines, Bell, Clark, Hershiser, Lee Smith.
Right. I totally agree about Albert Bell, but the one name that you mentioned before is Lee Smith. It's a completely different era, obviously. Nowadays, obviously, you have the one-inning save.
Right.
But Lee Smith, I mean, in one of his years, he actually led the league 4 times in saves, but in 1983, he led the league with 29 saves. He led the league with throwing 103 innings. So, I mean, that era, you pitched multiple innings.
Oh,
and
well,
to me,
that's if you ever heard Goose Gossage rail about Mariano Rivera, which they shut him up about. Finally, they basically told him knock it off. Goose used to say, "Hey, how many one inning saves would I have got? You know how many 3-inning saves I had to get?" And that was his point. You know, I used to get 3-inning saves, and he's right. To me, first of all, they're all very good players. Those 5 guys. The 2 that jump out to me as Hall of Famers are Albert Bell, who everybody detests, and who played only 12 years. But in 12, here's what the thing about Albert Bell. How many sluggers do you think are in the Hall of Fame? 100? Probably 100, right?
Probably about, yeah.
His slugging percentage is 13th all time. So if your slugging percentage is 13th all time, how are you not in the Hall of Fame? Okay,
and also playing. Playing on such great Indian teams.
And not only that, I mean, if you look at his numbers, he was basically 35, 120 for like 10 straight years.
Right.
And he was a 6-time All-Star in 12 seasons, really 11 full seasons. Was a 5-time Silver Slugger Award winner. The only player in history to ever have 50 doubles and 50 homers in the same season, which was 1995. 50 doubles and 50 homers in the same season. And 13th all-time in slugging percentage. Albert Bell should have been Hall of Famer. The other guy that I would look at, when I think of Hall of Famer, I think Oral Hershiser is a Hall of Famer. Now, I have to go. Here's why. Okay. Here's what I like about guys. I like guys who leave a mark because they're dominant. And they might not win as much over. Like, if you tell me, I like Don Sutton's career over, who's in the Hall of Fame, over Oral Hershiser, I'd rather have Don Sutton's career than Oral Hershiser. I mean, I'd rather have Oral Hershiser than Don Sutton because Don Sutton compiled for a long time. Oral Hershiser dominated when he was on top of his game.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Mike, is that, like, when I think of Hall of Fame, right, I think when I'm watching, are they a Hall of Famer?
Right.
Is they a clear-cut Hall of Famer?
Do you think, give me the guy again one time?
So when I was watching, like, Lee Smith, and granted that I was, just starting to get into baseball when I was watching Lee Smith play.
Do I think Lee Smith's a Hall of Famer? I do not, myself. Do I think Hershiser's a Hall of Famer? Off the top of my head, I say yes. Now,
I don't think so at all. And Don
but he was incredibly dominant.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone remembers him in '88 versus the Mets. I mean, that's one of his biggest years, and that's one of the times where he was real dominant.
I mean,
but he had a long period of time where he was dominant, though.
Yeah, but he got hurt. I mean, but he was incredibly. I mean, to me, I like dominant players. Like Bell was dominant. I mean, Bell only played 12 years, but he was dominant.
One of the best he was the best. Constantly he was fearful. He was dominant for a long period of time. He's definitely Hall of Famer in my mind. But I mean, he was injured. You could say the same about Don Mattingly. I don't want to get into that debate, but I'm just saying, like, he was injured too. He's not a Hall of Famer. So I have a hard time putting Oral in there,
but Oral had years like 19-3 and 23-8 and, great seasons. But I agree if you just go on, and he left an impact because when he was on top of his game, he was a dominant player. But he's a tricky one, I admit, because his lifetime numbers are not that great. I admit that. Now, Bell, you're going to get into because you're going to say, well, he falls short in the compilers, the all-time numbers. He doesn't have enough of this. He doesn't have enough of that. But, basically, he really played 10 seasons. He really played 10 good seasons. Yeah, well, 10 insane seasons,
Right. Yeah, and to me, I mean, also, like, he was a guy that not only didn't get on base a lot, but he was a guy that also, I mean, I believe that his career average is, like, off the top of my head, I'd be interested to know exactly. I was going to say, and probably close to 300.
295.
So, I mean, when you put both together. Yeah,
295. Listen, I don't think we argue about Bell. I think Bell's a no-brainer. I mean, here's Bell's years. Bell had 10 full seasons. He had 2 seasons where he hardly played. He had 200 at-bats one year, 20 at-bats the other year. So he played 10 seasons. 10 seasons. And it's hard to get in the Hall of Fame off 10 seasons. All right. 28.95 as the hors d'oeuvre. That's in 120 games. Then 34-112, 38-129, 36-101, 50-126, 48-148, 30-116, 49-152, 37-117, 23-103. I mean, he hit in 10 years. He averaged. This was his averages for the 10 years. 38 homers, 123 RBIs, and a 300 batting average. Those were for that. He averaged that for 10 straight years. He has 9 years of 100 RBIs. He has basically 1,000 runs scored in the 10 years. He has 1,239 RBIs in the 10 years. He has 381 homers and 389 doubles in the 10 years. So his average year was 35 doubles and 35 homers, or 40 doubles and 40 homers. You know, here's a year. You ready? 1998. 48 doubles, 49 homers, 152 RBIs, hit 328. I mean, he had years like that. Here's another year. You right? 1995. Listen to this year. He didn't win the MVP. He did not win the MVP. You ready? Listen to this season. 143 games. 546 at-bats. 121 runs scored. 173 hits. 52 doubles. 50 homers, 126 RBIs, hit 317. His slugging percentage was .690. Okay, led the major leagues in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories, and did not win the MVP. He went 48, 148, 311. Didn't win the MVP. He went 50, 126. He went 40, 129. Didn't win the MVP. He went 49, 152, 328, and finished 8th in the MVP. So listen to this. Ready to this? 1998. You ready? This is what you would call abject hatred. 163 games. 609 at-bats, 113 runs scored, 200 hits, 48 doubles, 49 homers, 152 runs, 152 RBIs, 328 batting average, 400 on base percentage, 655 slugging, 1.055 OPS, and finished 8th in the MVP voting. Now, you're going to tell me there were 7 guys who put up better numbers than him that year? He led the major leagues in 5 categories. He had 49 homers on 52 RBIs and hit 328, had 200 hits, and he finished 8th in the MVP voting. They hated him. Hershiser won 200 games, but he did lose 150. He had some top-of-the-mountain, incredible years. I can understand him being short. Albert Bell definitely deserves it. I think of Hershiser being a dominant pitcher, great big-game pitcher, but I admit he was 204 and 150 for his career. Dan in Garwood, New Jersey. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
What's happening?
I just wanted to talk real quick about the Yankees and that point about the NFL. Mike, I'm hoping that I'm praying that they're not going to go after Machado. I mean, that's my biggest fear right now.
I think if you're asking me right now, gun to my head, I think they will.
You think they will?
Yes, I do.
Mike, I mean, listen, I
hope they don't. I hope they don't. I think they will.
All I can say is this: any Yankee fan who is rooting for it, when he's not running and he's not hustling, you can't yell at him. He told you he wasn't going to do it.
I agree.
It's like dating a girl who tells you she's not going to be loyal.
I agree. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
I've never seen a player do this, but
I agree.
And
what was your football point?
The Chiefs, Mike. I've been riding them all season, and I've been making out very well with them.
Yeah, they've been rolling.
I just don't see if you think they're really a legitimate Super Bowl contender. They have no defense.
I think they got to play. I think there's going to come a point. I think a couple of things are going to bother them a little bit. I think the cold weather's going to bother them a little bit, and I think they're going to have to get a little tougher defensively.
I agree. Mahomes the real deal.
He is. Fourth quarter pass rush. Fourth quarter pass rush. That's what it's about. Fourth quarter pass rush. But their offense is unbelievable. It's really been great. It's been storming. It really is. Been absolutely storming. But Rob in Ridgefield Park, what's up, Rob?
Mike, how you doing?
Good. What's happening?
we all know the Jets have a lot of money to spend next year, and I think the GM can.
Yeah, $95 million under the cap.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a pretty nice number. I think our GM can do it. I'm just wondering, Mike, what has Bowles shown you that would give you the faith in him to allow him to run that kind of team?
Nothing.
Exactly. So I don't think he can be at the helm of this team. He can't. His clock management's horrible. You leave a guy in the game with a broken finger, the most important lineman on the field. He's shown nothing that should give any Jets fan any confidence at all that he can run a $100 million team.
I can't argue it. I like him personally. He's a nice guy.
No, yeah. There's no. Yeah. This is all football. This is all.
No. Listen, no, good guy.
Yeah,
Listen, I can't argue. I can't argue. Listen. You didn't hear me arguing, did you? I can't defend him. I'm not going to try. I can't. Rob, I can't defend him. Back after this.